Minorities, they may be scared that their voice is not important.
Some youth might not feel educated enough, but that's not true. All you have to do is ask for help.
There's a lot of issues going on and we just don't do anything about it. I just want people to give themselves a chance.
Youth Rise Texas is located on the east side of Austin. When it comes to voting for young people and minorities, we're really trying to teach them tools so that they can know the value of their voice and know the power that we have collectively. Party at the Polls is a youth-led voter mobilization event. It's happening on the east side of Austin.
I think it's super exciting. I love seeing all of my friends going out and getting more excited about things that they care about.
Yes, it's gonna be fun. We're gonna have food and games there, a celebration for people, encourage them to vote.
I hope that we get a record number of young voters coming out. I think it's especially important for people of color, and so hopefully through activities like this that makes voting a little more fun, we can achieve that goal.
I understand that a lot of people might think that our vote don't count because of where we come from, but my family and I had to do a self-deportation in Mexico when I was 3 years old, and I'm the only one in the family who can make a change and go out and vote.
Growing up, I saw the effect of the incarceration system upon generation after generation. Voting really is that cycle because everybody has a voice. Saying who you want to be in office for future generations could say a lot.
There was no really talking about politics at home or anything. My mom didn't vote, even though she could. Parents don't talk about it, schools don't talk about it, and I think what we're trying to get is more awareness because not everyone thinks that it's important for them to vote.
I think events like this really help promote and transform what would normally be slacktivism into actual activism and actual engagement.
I want my community to be heard. I want my people's voices to be heard out there. So I think voting is the first step.
I invited my friend over here.
Yeah, I voted.
Was it your first time?
Yeah, it was my first time.
Voting is an exciting, important thing. So come vote and have fun. Come celebrate you changing your generation.
It's so important, not only minority, but also minority youth to come in and vote, because whether they realize it or not, they make such a huge impact.
We're becoming less of a minority now, and so we're going to be the ones that live with the consequences of whatever this election and the next elections come with. So I think it's important to put our opinion there because we're going to live with it anyway.
What we do is we speak for the kids who can't speak for themselves because obviously they're locked up.
I don't believe that juveniles should be incarcerated.
Prisons don't work.
They don't work because the statistics prove they don't work.
The youth that are in these youth prisons are typically black, and they're brown, and they're young, come from broken families.
Kids don't belong in prison.
Where the city of Chesapeake is proposing to build a 112-bed facility. Advocates for youth agree the area is not appropriate for the planned center.
When you put 112 beds together, you've got an institution. And institutionalized treatment has proven over and over again to be ineffective.
Don't incarcerate, what? Educate. Don't incarcerate, what? Educate. Don't incarcerate.
Rise for Youth is a nonpartisan campaign
that advocates for the closure of youth prisons.
It stands for reinvesting in supportive environments for youth.
Rise for Youth is all about making sure that young people's voices are heard.
We held a lot of media events, we held protests. We do a lot of stuff like talking to legislators.
Our Youth Arise members were very instrumental in lobbying. One of the wonderful things that we do with them is train them in using their voice, train them in being confident in delivering the message. And they were able to go with us to the General Assembly and meet with legislators to share their story and share how they're impacted by their environment and how their environment impacts their decision making.
Capital, a small group is asking Governor Northam to reject plans that would put new youth prisons in the Commonwealth.
This group gathering at the state capitol to deliver letters and postcards to the governor.
We had thousands and thousands of them, like stacks. People from Norfolk did sign it, people from Chesapeake did sign it, people from Richmond did sign it. When we go talk to legislators, we show them the statistics that proves when the youth get incarcerated and get ready to be released, he's most likely to come back. That's how we was able to close Beaumont Correctional Facility.
That is a juvenile jail.
That was one of the big successes that happened last year.
It's getting crazy now because first we shut down Beaumont, now Chesapeake postponing their decision making. And I just felt, it just felt good. It felt like we actually had a voice for a change.
Like, what? I just want to do a little dance, yes. To legislators and governors and people who literally are in charge of everything. If I were to go sit in front of them and tell them how I felt about what they were doing to kids my age and kids younger than me, they would be like, well, we need to do something.
Youth are the ones that are actually going to make the changes. You can't really have a community without youth.
If you're passionate about what you say, if you keep saying it over and over again, if you get other people to say it with you, somebody's gonna listen.
Youth deserve that chance. If they don't get the chance, you'll never know what they can do.
As we're on the air tonight, a dramatic final showdown over the Dakota Pipeline in North Dakota. In fact, pictures coming in just moments ago. Police moving in right there to make their arrests.
Standing Rock wasn't a protest, it was a prayer. And that's the thing, is we are protectors, not protesters. Abebide, Withathamake, Ajaje, Withate, Henkudeme. Hello, my name is Alethea Phillips. I'm from the Omaha tribe of Nebraska. Going out to Standing Rock and hearing about it and hearing that it's really a youth-led movement and thinking, these other people out here are really that much older than I am, and going out there and seeing youth leadership and what that means. And I think everyone there, whether they're youth or they have youth in mind for why we're doing this, is kind of what it really meant, and to kind of look to the younger generation as people who want change and are willing to make change happen. For me, it just really felt like that's where I needed to be. It's what I need to be doing. Youth, I think, see it more as their responsibility to be involved. During that time, I knew I was absolutely going to be, there to the end. And I looked at my dad and I told him, I said, hey, I'm going back over there. And I went back, and I did fully intend to be arrested that day.
I am the Executive Director of Native Youth Alliance. Alethea Phillips is the Youth Coordinator and backbone of Native Youth Alliance.
So Native Youth Alliance started out as my father's nonprofit organization, and he did several things for a couple of years, working on the Indian Child Welfare Act, setting up teepees on the mall, working in Washington, D.C. But right now we focus on teaching the next generation the culture and the importances, and then also working on things like environmental problems to make sure that, we all have clean air and water to drink.
In our indigenous ways, we believe that what we do today affects 7 generations from now. This vision, it's her right to step in here and help lead.
So kind of during the breakdown period of Standing Rock, there was some people who came who were taking all the flags down, and we said, hey, you know, our flag's in there, and he said, well, if you can find your flag, you can have it. And so we pointed it out, and we knew just the colors, and we're like, we don't need to look around, it's that one right there. We're going to be bringing the flag back to the Omaha people this year, and we'll be returning it to the tribe. And so yeah, we're really hoping that it brings a sense of pride back to the Omaha people. You know, the Omahas are also facing the Keystone XL pipeline, and kind of bringing back that as support there as well. This is going to be our world.
It is the unification of the indigenous people from all across the country that is going to make the impact. It is us.
And this is the climate, this is the economy, this is the society that we're being brought into.
Oho Liliwange.
And because it's not just for us, it's for our children, and it's for the earth itself. Ushimaka, Mother Earth.
Youth Power Project
is a program set up by an organization called Citizen University.
Citizen University.
It's all these students coming together.
Youth across the country.
It's the opportunity for us as youth to take advantage of our civic powers.
To help us learn our own power.
Where power comes from.
How we should direct it.
That helps give us the tools to get more involved.
My name's Ethereal Reyes. I'm 16 years old.
I am a young Filipina girl.
I'm interested in ending racism as my youth power project. So I've seen it throughout my entire life, and I just personally feel like it's the biggest problem in America.
I'm Ashanti. I am 16 years old. At my school, I'm a METCO student, so I've started this Western METCO Scholars. METCO is just minority students that are from the inner city that get taken to the suburbs for better school opportunities and education. We shouldn't feel discouraged from stepping up just because we are minority.
I'm Malia Yusuf. I'm 16. My dad's Pakistani and my mom's white, so I'm a mixed kid. I'm doing Muslim awareness and acceptance. I feel like there's not necessarily hate, it's just a lot of like ignorance.
My name is Jaden Deal and I'm 17. Striving for equality, what's fair for all groups and what's fair for, say, me as a gay youth being able to go into school and feel safe.
I'm Gable Bell and I'm 16. I started a drive called Aunt Flo's Drive, which collects pads and tampons and other feminine products for the homeless women in the shelters. There are just so many homeless people everywhere. I see them and they're just out here without any help. Pads and tampons are just like the least donated items for shelters, so when they are donated, people are really grateful.
Citizen University let us choose our own project to teach us the civic power that we possess and help us raise awareness on social issues that are meaningful to us. And I did this by creating a documentary about colorism and beauty standards. My film is a 10-minute short film. It's a documentary. It's from the narrative of 6 different girls. It talks about their struggles as youth with the ideas of colorism and beauty standards.
It's called Success Looks Like Me. So we've been talking with women that are in certain positions, go to the middle schools and like the elementary schools and kind of start to encourage like the younger girls that like it's okay that this is not what's typically seen. Like you can still do this.
So we took a less confrontational approach to bullying. We did a positivity campaign. We ordered a bunch of stickers that said safe space. We actually went to a teacher meeting, handed out the stickers and said, if you want students to know that this is a safe place, tape this up to the window outside your door. And the next day, we actually ran out of stickers, so we had to make another order. Our goal was that as long as we were affecting at least one person, then it was a success.
What youth can bring to the table is we can collaborate well in hearing out each other and understanding one another from each other's different experiences.
My work with the Youth Power Project has taught me that I'm capable of more than I thought I was.
If you really believe what you're doing, then anything can be possible.
It's helped me realize that I don't need to wait to get an education, to go to college, to do something and to make a difference.
Experience is experience, so age doesn't matter or shouldn't validate or invalidate it.
There's all these students that have the great potential to become a leader, to be able to exact change. Don't ignore those students.
Students at North Lawndale College Prep marched in silence, carrying crosses with pictures of victims of gun violence, the tape across their mouths symbolizing both the silenced voices of those killed and the voices of those crying out for help from lawmakers but feeling ignored.
It's a battle that people in their community have been fighting for decades.
Communities United.
Communities United.
Communities United is a grassroots organization that goes directly to the community to address these issues that are affecting marginalized people.
We work along the lines of public safety, mental health, affordable housing, immigration reform, and education. Youth have a powerful voice and that they can use it to change things themselves.
If pain is in our community now, pain will forever be in our community in the future if we don't make a change. We are here joined together in unity, fighting for the same goals.
Young folks may not use the same words like school to prison pipeline, but they know because they've watched their friends be slammed onto tables, handcuffed, and got to put in jail. And they might not use things like the word trauma, but they know what it's like to watch someone die.
Youth is important for social change because we're the future. That's why I just really love doing this work, because it just helps to have people that actually care about you, and they push you and you push them to keep becoming a better you.
If you move as one, you're bigger than that one person that told you no.
We are survivors of a cruel and silent nation.
We participated in March for Our Lives. I gave a testimony about my brother. He passed away in February of this year.
It was sad what happened in Parkland, and we didn't want that to happen, to anybody in these schools. Nobody should have to go through that. But we also wanted to show that, in Chicago, we go through that on a daily basis.
We are here to fight for life and peace.
I've lost plenty of people that I've known throughout my whole life. In fact, I probably lost at least one person every year.
Yeah, we need stricter gun laws, but it's more to that. Gun laws is only a first step. We need more mental health inside of our schools. We need more jobs for youth. We need better education for students.
Youth activism helps you get both by educating you and involving you within the community that you already live in.
We are survivors of lack of resources within our schools. We are survivors of social, emotional, and physical harm. Then we will not stop until we are properly resourced in our communities. Today we say no more. As youth must now be the change that we see. Shut down!
collaborative of all young people. Like, we're at the face of it.
My name is Rogelio Munoz Vargas, and I'm undocumented.
To live here in Denver as an immigrant can be very risky. You never know what kind of situations you're going to get yourself into.
Trying to apply for college and receiving a letter that says that you cannot be accepted because you don't have a social security number.
It's not easy being undocumented and speaking up. You fear what would happen if someone decides to report me to the authorities.
Being afraid to being stopped by a police officer or an ICE agent, they just live in fear. It's really heartbreaking for me.
We're going to have a tremendous change in this district, and it's going to be led by the students.
I'm Ricardo Martinez, and one of the founders of the organization. We just show people how to organize and how the system of public education works, and deal with all the problems that happen that prevents them from succeeding in school.
When they came in, Padres de Jóvenes, they gave a speech about police to school pipelines.
The campaign they were working on, Counselors Not Cops, for the last 25 years, Padres de Jóvenes Amigos has been focusing on ending the school to prison pipeline.
Not only do we call it the school to prison pipeline, but it's also the school to deportation pipeline.
They fear coming to school like every day because they don't know when they're gonna be stopped by a police officer.
There was a parent who went to drop a student at the school that I'm actually at. I think ICE was already waiting for them outside the school. Everyone saw ICE picking them up in front of everyone else.
Having police in school only creates that environment where students feel unsafe and even unwelcome at times.
I missed school for a whole week. If they were waiting for someone outside of school, what makes me think they won't go inside, looking for someone?
Fear is a control mechanism. It's a tool, it's a weapon they use against anybody that wants to rise up.
In today's society, we see ICE agents deporting students and separating families. For this issue, we did a rally. The purpose of the rally was to speak up of things that really need to change. Demanding the change is important.
When I was writing the speech for the march and rally on June 30th, I wanted to deliver a strong message.
Being a part of that rally over the summer was amazing because youth are underestimated a lot of the times.
We uplifted voices and we came together as a community and showed that we're not going to let fear get in the way of demanding a change.
Nothing in this country or any place on this planet has moved by the good-heartedness of people in authority. They have to be forced to change their practices and policies, and that happens clearly with protests.
Youth have an amazing impact on the world. A lot of movements have been led by youth.
While youth really have the willingness to go out there and really put forth in a challenge to authority.
We're taking a stand and we're making sure that our voices are being heard, whether you want to hear them or not.
There's no movement in this country of human and civil rights that has not included youth voice.
Today, we have gathered here because of
when I was saying my speech, next to me there was a little girl who was holding my hand. And it just reminds me that all the work that I'm doing, again, it's for the future generation. Yes, it is to protect myself from deportation. It is to protect my community from deportation. There is a future generation who is coming, who I know that I have to work hard for it.
Thank you, everybody.
We are Youth vs. Apocalypse. We are a youth-organized environmental justice group out of the Bay Area. We were one of the groups that was present in the confrontation with Senator Feinstein.
Youth vs. Apocalypse's main purpose is to bring awareness and to inspire change around the climate crisis.
What's up, everybody?
I've been involved with Youth vs. Apocalypse ever since it started about 2 years ago. We are youth from all over the Bay Area, and we're youth that are involved with different campaigns trying to, make the earth better.
And we work on the BACMID campaign, which is the Bay Area air quality. If it has to do with oil refineries and gas stations. And then we worked on youth versus coal.
In Oakland, we're already at such big risk because so many people here have asthma. Putting coal through Oakland is just going to cause even more havoc in our community. That's the main hotspot with communities filled with color.
Environmental racism exists. It's easier to dump on Black and brown communities, low-income communities. There's so many people who should be included in these conversations, people who look like me. I want people who live in my communities to be the face of this movement.
Young people have a fresher perspective on the world. We are able to recognize that climate change is an impending disaster and that we have to do something about it.
When California has fires, which happen almost every year because of the effects of climate change, people can't breathe.
The sun was red and we couldn't go outside without wearing a mask. And if we didn't wear a mask, we would get a headache. So it was physically impacting us.
And so we're doing a youth climate strike.
Students from around the world are walking out of their schools to demand political climate action.
The adults had their chance to save us, but now we have to take matters into our own hands.
Senator Dianne Feinstein gets into a heated discussion with a group of kids
in her Bay Area office saying she should support a Green New Deal.
Maybe people should listen a little bit.
You're supposed to listen to us. That's your,
How old are you?
job.
How old
I'm
are you?
16. I
Well,
can't
you didn't vote for me.
The interaction got very tense. It got very uncomfortable, kind of cringy.
I've been doing this for 30 years. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, it was kind of I think a tense exchange, which is why it got viewed so many times.
That video was uploaded and it gained millions of views.
After we went viral, the pace at which we work has gotten much faster.
We have a Zoom call almost every night. In those calls are people who are organizing students from their schools.
This new platform that we have is really giving us this new sense of urgency, and we're really coming together as a group.
I think we all realize that this attention, it's not something that comes along that easily.
This strike is not only local and national, but it's global. Thousands of young people and allies are walking out of schools, out of jobs.
Around the world today, they're calling for more action to combat climate change.
Because it's on a global scale, there's people in our group who have made flyers specifically for our Bay Area to get it done, so it's spread online so the youth can definitely access it.
I've personally never been so involved in an event like this, especially an event of this magnitude.
We've had protests where we've had 20 people show up and we were super happy. Now we have something where thousands of people are coming, and globally hundreds of thousands are participating in something that we have our name on.
I hope that we get through to some of our representatives and that we get more adults and more people in government talking about what actions do we need to take so that we can secure the future for not just these kids, but kids around the country and around the world.
So before we get started, we are Youth versus Apocalypse. Yeah, woo!
To our elected representatives, we say,
we will not stop.
We urge you to support the Green New Deal.
I want a happy future. I want the world to still be beautiful.
So it's our job as the youth to not only acknowledge this struggle, but to find a solution for this struggle.
It feels like no one wants to fight for my future. And if no one's gonna fight, we have to fight for ourselves.
We are the youth. We are the future.
Our movement is to call to all politicians like Senator Feinstein to make a change and to use the power and the platform that they have.
We have a voice and we will use our voice, and we cannot be silenced.
Every single person who's standing here right now is a part of a revolution.